Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I have been waiting a minute because of scheduling conflicts, mostly on my part, to bring on my boy Bodie, Tripp Bodenheimer. I was blessed, extremely blessed, to be on The Shadows podcast, and I will put that in the show notes, episode 46. But don't go there yet because I want you to hear the stories that Tripp's going to tell to help you really, really level up and just start crushing. And Bodie, he's originally from North Carolina. Unfortunately, he lost his father from a heart attack in 1993. He was 11 years old at the time. And a few years later, another big kick to the gut is his sister was murdered at the age of 14. His positive outlook, he struggled to have one. He fell into a depression, which you can't blame him at all. He joined the Air Force in 2009. And now he's an instructor of the instructors. And it's funny, he kind of told me a story off air that he was only supposed to be there for a year where he's at station right now. And I'm thinking underneath my breath, I'm like, those people love what you're doing, dude. They actually fudge the numbers to keep you there longer. So he's going to be where he's at for another couple of years. And I think the Air Force is lucky to have him. You know, he's learned to block out the negative influences and start building a strong inner balance and alignment. So again, he has the Shadows podcast, and I want you to check that out after our interview. So Bodie, please come on, introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Oh, favorite color is easy. Carolina blue, very specific. And why? Because, I mean, it's peaceful. When you're sitting back on a beach, looking out at the sky, looking at that blue water, just puts you in a peaceful mindset. And also, it's favorite color of my favorite college team, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
So make you stomp on some Blue Devils then, right?
Exactly. I can't do dark blue. It's got to be Carolina blue specific.
If you talk about that Carolina rivalry, I'm all Carolina. I mean, I love Krzyzewski as a person. I've met him a couple times, but it's like I can't stand those teams.
I actually like Coach K, and that's
yes.
I know that people run me out of town for saying that, but I actually like him. He's got a really good book that I've read.
Oh yeah,
so I like
absolutely.
Him. Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, I'm from Michigan. You know, so we have the University of Michigan, which I can't stand. I'm a Sparty, you know, Michigan State guy. So it's kind of the same thing with the Duke. It's kind of like an Ivy League school in a sense, you know, education wise and stuff.
In the South.
Yeah, in the South. And it's nice when they get stomped on. So I can't stand seeing them being good in football either. But anyways, enough about the slamming on Duke. Let's get to your origins, my man. Kind of dig in. You had kind of a bleak past, a path that not many people have walked. And maybe kind of start there and how you leveled up to right now helping others, you know, get their voice across.
Yeah, no, first of all, I appreciate you having me on here. I really do. I'm a fan of your show, so I appreciate this opportunity. Yeah, I was, just as you mentioned, 11 years old, we moved from North Carolina to South Carolina. We were living in Mount Pleasant, and my father was pretty successful. He was a lawyer, and I thought, you know, I was spoiled as a kid. I was like, this life is nice. And then blink of an eye, heard a loud crash downstairs, ran down, and my father had a heart attack. And that moment right then, everything in my life changed. And he was in the hospital until July 9th, 1993. And then he passed away. And my life got turned upside down because we went from living in this really nice house right on the waterway to I'm learning how to pay bills with my mom inside of a little apartment. And it was really tough. I was having to learn how to budget at 11 years old and do bills and trying to be the man of the house. And then we moved back to North Carolina to be closer to family and friends. And, you know, unfortunately, just as you mentioned, August 23rd, 1998, my sister was murdered at 14 and I was 16. So for a 16-year-old, that was a lot. Focusing on grades and stuff in high school was not my top priority. I was just trying to figure out why all this was happening in my life. And then, you know, I was kind of at like a standstill, really. I was going to school just to go to school. But then, you know, I got jobs, was working, you know, physical therapy assistant was one. But then I just didn't find my purpose. You know, you chase your passion, but passion can be dangerous because you're really following your heart. But I was like, what is my purpose in life? And it's not always right in front of you. Sometimes you have to find it. It's hidden out there. And for me, I decided to raise my right hand and join the Air Force. My grandfather was in the Army. My dad was in the Navy. And I was like, well, why don't I continue this legacy? I'm going to join the Air Force, and kind of looked at it like a 4 and out, and was going to, open some more doors for me, but I decided to join. Best decision I ever made. And I had a mentor who told me, hey, I know you're thinking about getting out. I know, I was that guy looking to go 1 year and go pro. And he's like, he said, don't judge the military on just your first base. Like, get your feet wet, give it some time. And then I got asked to go to Germany, and that was a life changer. 6 years in Germany. I got asked to be an Airman Leadership School instructor when I was there. And the rest is history. It's kind of brought me to where I'm at now, which is teaching the instructor course in Alabama.
You love it. And how long have you been in then, Bo?
I've been in 12 years right now, going on 13.
Gotcha. So you are kind of a career man. And I
am. I told myself when I hit 10, that's it.
Yeah. I was going to say, lack of a better term, be stupid not to, with what you get afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's awesome. People need people like you. So you mentioned something about purpose. You kind of align, like passion can be dangerous. You mentioned something about purpose. Do you think your why is found a lot in your purpose?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I love the Simon Sinek start with why.
Yeah.
I love that. Oftentimes we tell people like what we do or how we do it, but we never start off a conversation with that why. And my why right now is, I'm developing people to go out there and help mold other people and help grow other people. And kind of what you said on my podcast, they're going to plant that seed, but they're not necessarily going to sit under the shade.
Right.
And I love that. And I think that's exactly, my purpose right now is to help send people out there and be better educators and enhance some learning environment for others and instill these concepts in them. And it's the best job I have, hands down. I have the best job in the military right now. You cannot argue with me on that.
No, that's awesome. I mean, you brought up about the Simon Sinek. I love the guy, right? But military is so militant for a sense. You have to be somewhere, no questions asked. I did my 7 years, so I get it. And Simon said you can either influence people by manipulation or inspiration. Do you find yourself inspiring your squad as you're bringing them through the instructor school? More than, lack of a better term, manipulation. It's not, because there's so much structure to it. You find yourself leaving the structure a little bit to inspire them.
Yeah, we've broken away from like that adaptive, like be an instructor, and we are more be yourself. I tell students, I'm like, you suck at playing the role of an instructor. You are fantastic at being Scott Ferguson. You're fantastic at being yourself up there. So it's definitely inspiring them. And I tell them from day one, I tell them my story. I tell them things that I'm going through in my personal life. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to wear a mask when I come in here and put on a facade. I'm going to be the same person every single day and have fun with this. And if you're not having fun, then you need to check yourself and maybe not be behind the podium because you're doing a disservice to your students. So the second you start phoning it in, they're the ones who are suffering from it. So I encourage them, just be yourself, have fun. And, we graduated our class yesterday. And some of the common feedback that I was getting was, you inspire me just to be me. You inspire me just to dig into these lessons and make it fun to where I'm looking forward to coming in. Because if I'm having fun, they're going to have fun and they're going to see it.
So do you find yourself the same Bodie in the being an instructor as you are at the commissary if they run into you?
100%.
Okay. Very cool.
100%. That relatability. Cool. Like I can't. I actually
you feel me when I'm talking about in the military.
Oh yeah. Right? Yeah. No, I actually go in one day and I bring a lesson plan with me and I read it verbatim from the way it's written. And my answers are robotic, like, absolutely. Yeah. Great. Good job. And then I do it for like 10 minutes and they're checking their pulse and they're falling asleep. And they're always kind of looking around like, what in the world? And then I stop and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I was playing the role of an instructor right there. How much fun was that? And I'm like, do you want me to go back to being Bodie again? All right, let's go back.
Let's do this. I love it.
Yeah.
So then when you're bringing these instructors in, obviously they've had to qualify to become one.
Yeah.
What is there any secret sauce that you use while you're instructing or even in one-on-one situation with them to help them level up, to help them find that blind spot?
For that, we've incorporated a lot of self-reflection stuff into the actual curriculum. We do 2 lessons that I've been certified on. They're actually sponsors of my podcast, Giant Worldwide. We do a 5 voices, which helps you discover your leadership voice. It really helps you blind spot wise, because it shows you how you come off to other people in a conversation.
Yeah.
Like how you sound when you walk away. We do 5 gears, which is like a how to be present, which I think us as a society, we struggle with so much.
Yeah.
We teach you how to be present with those around you and how to handle your time management. We have a art of communication lesson, which kind of goes into the allegory of the cave. Emotional intelligence. I think emotional intelligence is huge. And Noble Gibbons, you know, the EQ gangster himself, he mentioned something the other night. He was talking to the students. He said, we drive our vehicles, and I kind of paraphrase this into like my own way of doing it too. We drive our car, we see that it needs air, tire in your tires, light comes on, the check engine light's on. And we're like, yeah, I know I got some stuff going on with me, but we're afraid to look under our own hood. But we're quick to tell people what's wrong with their car.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. And we get people to dig deep. We get them to be vulnerable. We get them to open up. And, you know, if you're not giving everything you got in a classroom, you know, how's a flight going to relate to you? They want someone they can relate to, as opposed to someone who's superior to them.
Absolutely.
And I think that goes with any job. If you find yourself saying, call me boss, as opposed to call me teammate.
Right.
You know, I just think that's where we're at right now.
Right.
I think that's just not the way to really connect with people.
Absolutely. You have to have that personal connection, allow them to be authentic and to communicate. So is there any good question then that you wish that instructors would ask you that never do?
It's kind of a simple one, honestly. It's kind of, you know, like balance in personal life with being an instructor. It's something that we kind of hint at, and we're like, yes, it's going to be a struggle. You're going home for the first 6 months, and you're like deployed in place because you're having to learn all these lessons, and then you're having to build that lesson around your personality, as opposed to just regurgitating the info. So it's a struggle with family. And I noticed the first couple of classes I taught, they weren't really asking about that, but then they were struggling with it when they were getting back to their schools. So definitely that personal professional balance. How do we manage it? Because it's tough.
Love it. Yeah, it absolutely. There's that harmony that's gotta take place between the classroom or the field and home. So, Bodie, I'm seeing a lot of strengths of yours as being a great communicator, very authentic, approachable. To what extent do you appreciate your strengths, man?
I got to get better at it.
Okay.
Like, I'll be real with that. I got to get better at it. People tell me all the time when I get feedback and stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't have imagined being in another class, or I really want to be like you as an instructor. And I hear it and I take it for a grain of salt. I'm like, okay, that's the, you know, canned feedback they're supposed to give me. But when I look at like from like a macro level of everything I've been through, I really, you know, can sit back at times and appreciate it and say, you know, wow, most people would have gone through all this and just kind of tapped out or used it as, and rightfully so, use it as an excuse. It's like, you know, hey, my life sucks. But there's a quote that I read the other day in I'm Your Huckleberry, Val Kilmer book. Really good. The universe's rejection is the universe's protection. You know, things happen all the time for a reason. You're put where you are for a reason. You may not necessarily see it at the moment, but you are where you are, and to serve that purpose. And so when I really sit back, you know, I'm like, everything happened in my life the way it should have. I am who I am. We're based off of our experiences. And honestly, I couldn't imagine who I would be. I'm almost afraid to see who I would be, you know, if I hadn't been through everything I had been.
I appreciate that. So everybody has limitations. Can you maybe point one out to us, and how do you appreciate the limitations that you have?
Limitations for me, I would say I almost get in my head sometimes. I stop myself. You know, I find myself more times than not, an opportunity arises and I almost like doubt myself, like, oh, you're not smart enough to do this. I had reading comprehension growing up. And so when I have to get on a stage and read something in front of 300 people, or if I'm, you know, having to read something verbatim on a script, it kind of gets in my head, and it's kind of limited me at times.
Sure.
But it's something I'm starting to get better at, more confident with. I'm practicing. I've been reading a lot
Mm-hmm.
more than I ever have. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be knocking out about a book a month, two books a month.
Yeah.
I would have told you you're crazy, but it's something I've definitely challenged myself. And I look for those limitations. I look for what are those and try to become limitless in them. And
have to.
But we're, you know what, if I'm fortunate enough to live till I'm 80 years old, I'm still going to have those limits that I'm going to be discovering.
Oh, absolutely, man. So yeah, I'm discovering them. I've got 10 years on you. I discover them every day. And I always have 5 books going at a time. I do 10 pages a day in each book, you know,
can't get one.
Yeah, you just can't, because sometimes at past that 10th page, you're like, oh, but like I'll pick up, you know, like, you know, everybody's buddy, you know, Nick Saban, you know, I got that going. I got our boy Jason Holzer, Shattered by Suicide. You know, I got my boy Nate's, you know, $1 Million Body Method, you know, and it's like I pick up a step from everywhere. And I also take notes within Google Notes and put it in there. And I look back and I'm like, and it's just awesome. I'm glad to hear you're a reader, man. So you ever see the movie Back to the Future?
Oh, big Back to the Future.
All right,
I got Back to the Future stuff in this room.
I see it, man. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty. Let's go back to the 22-year-old Bodie. So it's like 17, 18 years ago. Let's go back to the 22-year-old Bodie.
All right.
What kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on the 22-year-old Bodie? Maybe help him level up, last through, and shorten his learning curve just a little bit.
Be patient, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Be patient. Good things aren't instant. You have to, you work for things and let things, you know, opportunity, you got to wait for opportunity to arise. And when you see it, take advantage of it. But definitely be patient, because I was very impatient. I wanted to be a millionaire at 22, like instantly.
Of course.
I would also say, listen to other people, learn to be interested versus being interesting.
Sure.
Quit trying to sell everybody on your accolades and stuff, and just sit back and listen to those around you, the wise people that you surround yourself with. You'll get further by doing so.
It's so funny you say that, because I'll sit there and I enjoy kava. It's a root drink, and I like to sip on it. And I'll go to these kava houses. It's full of kids, a lot of young kids, and I just hear them talking. I'm like, dude, that was me when I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that. And I'm like, but then now it's funny. I go there 3 days a week, and I'm holding court with these young guys, and I'm like, listen, man, slow it down. When you don't know something and really don't know something, get your asking gear. You know, ask for what is needed. Because I wish I would have had somebody tell me that, you know, instead I knew everything. But
it comes through the ears, not the mouth.
Yes, absolutely. Guy gave us a mouth and 2 ears for one mouth, 2 ears for one reason. I love it, man. You and I are just same sheath. So how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date on your tombstone. How do you want that little dash remembered, bro?
Everybody that came in contact with me was better. And like, when my legacy as an instructor is over with, it's not going to be what I did. It's all about, you know, the people that send me photos of their tech promotion. They're, you know, they've been step promoted. They've re-enlisted because of something I was instrumental in. It's all about others. And I think if it was just one word, I would put others, because it's not going to, your legacy is, I did an article for Llama Leadership a while back, and it was, you know, I was going through some boxes out in the garage, and I found some of my dad's stuff, and my dad left a lasting impression on me. He had conversations in 1993 with me that I still remember to this day, but all the accolades that you have hanging up on a wall, all the awards you get, that stuff goes in a box one day, and it gets taped up, and it gets put Bodie stuff or dad stuff. But your legacy is what you've instilled in other people and how they carry that on day after day after day. That's the stuff that gets remembered. You know, I make a joke in the Air Force. I'm like, nobody remembers who the air communication 2017 airman of the first quarter was.
Right.
And if you tell someone, they're going to be like, okay, cool. Right. But yeah, it's all about how, you know, emotional memories, how you make other people feel.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know, I had a moment where, you know, I told you about my nose surgery, right? And when I travel and I'll have speaking engagements, I'm blessed. I usually go there. I'm not a big drinker, so I'll maybe have one brain grenade or so, whatever, with the audience members that meet in the bar area, but I usually just disappear, right? And back to my room, and it makes my lady feel better to know that I'm not out mingling. You know what I'm saying? She's not insecure at all, but it's like, I try to do things right. But when the thing happened to my nose, I felt alone. But the people that I just posted on Facebook and said, hey man, I'm off the grid for a bit. I'll be back when I'm back, and God heals me, whatnot. Dude, I had stuff mailed to my house or mailed to my office. I had people stopping by that could be locally. I had people drive down from Tampa, up from Miami to drop off food and stuff. And I was like, man, and it all came from me being able to, what you're doing, influencing people in the correct way. That's the way, it's like, and I don't talk to these people, Bodie, ever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They might see something on social from me every once in a while or something, but I don't ever talk to them. That's the way, and that's how you're absolutely, when you're in that DeLorean with Doc Brown going 5-15 years in the future where they don't need no roads, you're going to see, you're already seeing it now. And that's awesome. So, Bodie, let me ask you this, man. What do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
Oh, that's easy. Because I've heard this throughout my career, that I try too hard, or you get the whole brown noser thing, especially when it gets competitive in the military and you're fighting for a promotion statement.
Right.
And a lot of people see, and I could totally get it, because if I'm standing on the outside, like Ebenezer Scrooge, like looking in at my life or something, I'd be like, this guy's trying too hard. He's doing this, that, and the other. But I genuinely care about people. And like, I really care, leadership is good, but it's not until someone understands you truly care about them. That's from Dean Smith. But that's what it is. I truly care about others. And I think a lot of times people, especially coworkers, can kind of misconstrue that as just trying too hard.
Right. Okay. You're coming from a good place.
Coming from a very good place. Yeah.
What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? That's a really good question. Other than headaches.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think what keeps me up at night is, I used to worry about the unknown. I used to worry about, what does tomorrow hold? I used to have anxiety. And I learned to kind of conquer that, to kind of beat my anxiety. It took a lot of soul searching, kind of what you brought up earlier, a lot of that self-reflection, self-assessment, looking under the hood.
Right.
And honestly, I can say right now, nothing really keeps me up at night.
That's awesome. That's great.
Because I feel like 5 years ago, I would have given you a laundry list.
Right.
But I can't encourage people enough, level up your life, sit there and do some, focus on you, figure out how you tick. Because I can guarantee you start going down that hole, you're going to find some things. But when you discover them, when you admit it, and you can start fixing those, you start getting some good sleep.
Yeah, you do. And that, dude, I went back to something I was tactically taught in the military about breathing, box breathing or tactical
it's
breathing.
Awesome.
And it's like, dude, I started doing that again like 4 years ago. And I kind of bounced back and forth between some tactical breathing I learned in the military to, a little bit of Wim Hof, add a little bit of him in there, or, Mark Divine. And that just changed everything, man. Now I'll have my nights, but generally, dude, I'm out. Like, I hit the bed and I'm out. And my biggest challenge is getting into bed, because I feel like I want to serve. And I'm like, dude, you got to shut it down. And speaking of that, because it comes to health, about getting the rest, like, do you find yourself, because you lost your dad, I mean, you're going to be rolling up on another 10, 12 years on your dad's age, 13 years or what now?
Actually, about 4.
Okay, 4 years of your dad's age. Okay. Like in squad, if you're looking at, not only is a handsome dude, but he's pretty well put together. If you look at his social, he's pretty well put together. Do you find yourself taking care of yourself due to the fact your dad passed?
100%.
Okay.
And, all right. My dad,
it's another blessing that he left you, in a sense. And I'm not trying to make light of his passing, bro.
Yeah.
But no, it's something he left you behind.
And he played football. He went to North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Athlete growing up, and but I noticed he didn't take good care of himself his last couple of years. He was a lawyer, a very stressful job. But now, and I think it's kind of subconscious, but whenever I hit, I don't know, 18, 19, got a little YMCA membership, went in there, started pumping some iron on the Nautilus machines, and here I am now. I got a beautiful Body by Bodie garage gym.
Hey, baby.
I actually went for a run this morning before I came on here, and I'm definitely, because now I have my daughters and my wife that, it's not about me, it's about them. And I don't ever want to put my girls through that pain of, just not taking care of myself. So that's definitely for you, man. The physical domain is something that I can definitely work on. And it just takes a little bit of effort. And I have those days where I'm like, I do not feel like it today, but you push through and you get it done and you feel better about yourself. And hopefully I can hang around a little bit longer for them.
That's it. So let's take out computers, tablets, phones. Let's take anything electronic out of this equation, this question. Quickly, what are 3 things that Bodie can't live without?
3 things I can't live without. Sports, because even if I didn't have all those, I would need my newspaper. So sports, that's my form of entertainment. Family, because just that
because they're family, dude. Exactly.
Family. Yeah. The joy they can bring. And the other one, honestly, this is kind of a corny answer. I need a dog.
All right.
I need a dog. They are the most loyal things in the world. They understand. I just got done explaining this to somebody the other day. Humans have life all wrong. They go through life 80 years and they're miserable. They don't understand. They're always soul searching. Dogs only get a short shelf life with us, like 15 years, because they understand life in 15 years. They're loyal. They're faithful. They're not, they can be a little moody, but they forgive you. They just, everything that you want in a human, dogs give to you. So I gotta, and they're therapeutic. It's proven they're therapeutic to
petting a dog's head can erase a lot of stuff. That's
real thing.
Crazy you said that, dude. I literally have my pit bull laying on my feet, bro, while I'm doing this, and it's a rescue.
Mine are roaming around here somewhere.
I love it. I love it.
Be quiet. I'm recording.
In squad, we are going to bring my boy Bodie through our leveling up lightning round just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. Hey, time to shine today. Podcast versus Squad. We are back, and I got my boy Tripp Bodenheimer, or my friends call him Bodie. And Bodie, we have our leveling up lightning round. It's 6, 7, 8 questions. You and I could easily talk an hour in each one of them, but you have 5 seconds with zero, and I mean zero explanations. You ready to rock?
Let's do it. I put people through this on mine. Let's see how this goes.
Do it. What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Be yourself.
Yes. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Working out.
Love it. You see me walking down the street. Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums. You're a reader, man. What book do you handed me?
Buddha and the Badass.
Dude, I swear to you right now, I pull up my notes out of Buddha and the Badass for that Simon Sinek. Anyways, dude, we'll get that in a minute. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
Thumbs up. I'm simple.
Love it. If you could be one age physically, and don't lie here, physically for the rest of your life, keep the wisdom you garnered and keep gaining knowledge and wisdom, what age physically would you stay for the rest of your life?
Right now, 39, best shape of my life.
Yeah, as long as there's a 3 on the front, I'm good with you saying that. What was your New Year's resolution?
I actually don't have those.
Good for you. Chess or checkers?
Chess.
Favorite charity and organization you like to give your time or money to?
To V Foundation, v.org, or Love American it. Red Cross, redcross.org.
Good for you, man. And this is the last question, and you can elaborate just a little bit on this. But what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Oh, 80s.
Big hair, no
I grew up, my dad listening to Genesis.
Oh, dude. Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, I love 80s music.
Love it. Love it. So, Bodie, how can we find you, bro?
Simple. You can find me theshadowspodcast.com. Got everything from The Shadows Podcast. We have our newest show, Rise from the Shadows, which are little 20-minute, almost like TED Talk versions.
Nice.
People overcoming obstacles in their life. And we've got an off-the-air monthly YouTube exclusive where we've been connecting like a puzzle piece of topics. We'll talk about something based off that conversation. We'll add another piece the following month. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I believe I'm Edward Bodenheimer on LinkedIn. Instagram, I think it's like 82 Bodie. I'm horrible.
82 Bodie, BODHI.
Yep. But The Shadows Podcast, easiest way to find me. You were actually one of our guests, so go check out
episode 46, man. I'm going to throw that link right in to the show notes here, squad. And Bodie, do me one last favor and leave the squad here with one last knowledge nugget they can take with them, internalize, and take action on.
I would say, and it's something I've used so many times on my podcast and stuff, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Love it.
If you feel like you were just stagnant, you see opportunities and you're a little trepidatious at taking advantage of it, take it, do it, get comfortable or get uncomfortable. Trust me, you will grow so much from it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I love it. I love it. And squad, we just had an awesome conversation and kind of like a side note masterclass. My good buddy Bodie here, he'll tell you that passion can be dangerous. Find your purpose and what you want in there. Your why is found in there, and get after that purpose. Get after your why. Bodie's someone that strives to inspire, but at the same time, he wants you to be authentic and be yourself. He'll tell you that self-reflection is the key to communication, and when you're looking to blame others, look under your own hood. Okay. Always look under your own hood. See what you can fix about yourself before you try to fix others, and always use the need to improve, maybe your own Kaizen. He reminded us that the universe tells us, rejection is for our protection a lot of times, but he also wants you to get uncomfortable become comfortable being uncomfortable. Like we like to stay here at time to shine today is, stretch that comfort zone. You don't have to step out of the comfort zone so much, but stretch it into the bigger and bigger. And you just become more and more and more. He'll remind you to be patient. The good things are not instant. Learn to be interested and not interesting. What he means is shut your mouth and listen for those key knowledge nuggets that are out there that can help you level up. He's going to he's going to be remembered as someone that everybody he came in contact to, he made better. And this is a guy that, is going to slide across home plate, bumped and bruised, but he's going to score because he's a winner. And Bodie, you level up your health, you level up your wealth, man. You earn your varsity squad letter here at Time to Shine today. I'm so blessed to have you. Can't wait to collaborate with you on a few things in the future, brother. Love your guts.
Can't wait to do it. Appreciate you having me.
You bet. Bye now.